to share with you right now, but I want to say on today, I am so grateful that I don't look like what I've been through. Because we all got a story to tell, right?
My name is Paige Dukes, 2022 Represent Justice Ambassador, formerly incarcerated woman, person in long-term recovery from substance abuse, an abolitionist, and a suffragist.
When I was 20 years old, I went to prison for 10 years. But the civil death of incarceration lasts long after release.
My name is Kareemah Hanifa. I am the lead community organizer with Iman Atlanta. I am also an undergraduate student at Life University, and I am directly impacted by the criminal justice system here in the state of Georgia. I was 15 years old when I went to prison. I served 26 years in the Georgia carceral system consecutively, and I was released on April the 19th, 2019 at the age of 41 years old. I am not able to vote because of the language that is used by the state of Georgia. I am considered a disenfranchised citizen. The word disenfranchised means to block the vote. I am disenfranchised because I have been sentenced to parole for the duration of my life.
While I was incarcerated, at first I was feeling real hopeless, like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? And then I started trying to figure out how I could turn this experience around to be a better person. So I got my GED and I went forward, and then I took cosmetology and I moved another step and I began going to Life University here in the state of Georgia. 6 years later, I graduated with my bachelor's in psychology in January.
She was one of the people who I looked up to because they were doing long sentences and living really meaningful lives behind bars. I first met Karima when I joined the Voices of Hope traveling choir. This was a choir that actually went outside the prison, and we traveled around the state and sang at churches for different groups of people, different communities.
I always felt like the choir was like Georgia Department of Corrections PR.
Yeah.
Like, this is a representation of the women of Georgia, and we treat all of them just like this, which we know was not true.
Right.
Good afternoon, Savannah, Georgia. Yes.
We want you guys to know that you matter. Your vote is your voice. The definition of politics in layman's terms is who gets what, when, and where.
And when I think about the importance of voting, I think about my grandson, 9 months old. And I think about the future. We're leaving this little girl right here, those young people over there.
I always tell people, you don't vote for people because they look like you. That ain't sufficient for me. If I could vote, I would vote for people whose values and beliefs mirror my own values and beliefs. And so today's rally/fall festival event is about voting in my honor.
I look at the back of each and every one of these shirts. It said, I am voting in honor of you. So if you see it empty on the back of somebody's shirt, look at it as if it's a mirror. And you make sure you let those people know I'm voting for you.
While I was on the inside, I always said, Lord, if I ever make it out, I will never forget about the tribe. And the tribe are those who are inside, those who are coming out, and those who are already out. So studies have shown that individuals who believe that they are a part of community are more successful, cut back on recidivism, especially here in the state of Georgia. So the No Taxation Without Representation campaign, we are saying that as law-abiding citizens, as someone who has served their time inside of the prison system, who is deemed safe enough to live in community, would like to participate in community. Fight fear. Build power. Fight fear. No taxation. Without representation. Fight fear. Build power. Vote in my honor.
People who are directly impacted should lead the movement for voting rights. Those who are closest to the problem are those who should lead in the problem.
Where y'all at? That's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Come on. Gotta act cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is this the one I'm supposed to be at? Hey, y'all! What up, Savannah?
Yeah.
I am now exonerated of all charges, walking in my newfound freedom every single day.
In Georgia, you're disenfranchised until your sentence is complete. But it's not complete when you get out of prison. Our tax money is going to pay for the police. It's going to pay for the cages that we just came out of.
After these communities have been built up according to who is housed in a particular county, and some places out in the South specifically, nothing is in that county but that prison.
Why don't they want to give us the vote back? Because they know that we have that knowledge and that experience.
When I think about collateral consequences of incarceration, I think about like all of the things that we lose that we're not quite aware of in the moment. In the state of Georgia, you gotta be 18 to vote, 21 to drink. Well, you lose both of those rights before you're even old enough to even make any decisions.
Yeah, they should tell you those are all the things that you're giving up if you take a plea, if you plead guilty.
Yes, that is correct. Instead, you find out after the fact. And you find out you can't find anywhere to live, you can't find anywhere to work. You know, it's almost like you've been blacklisted.
And once we do, we're gonna make sure that this system that we know doesn't work except to take us away from our families for decades, uproot us from our communities, and then when we return home, we're uprooted from opportunity. In the summer of 2020, I'd been on probation for 3 years. And we were all gathering in the streets to protest the brutal police killings of Rayshard Brooks, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many others. But they deployed brutal police tactics, they employed curfews, and I realized I couldn't even leave my house after 8 o'clock without recriminalizing myself. So I petitioned the court to terminate my probation early. And just before the deadline in October of 2020, I cast a ballot for the first time in my life. Thank you. Y'all, my story on its face seems like a success story, and it is. But it also shows how arbitrary rights restoration can be.
Her rights have been restored, where I have been met with opposition in having my rights restored. So those are the differences.
Why do they take the vote from us when we go to prison? There's only 2 states where they don't. Maine and Vermont, the whitest states in the nation.
Here in the state of Georgia, African Americans and people of color are more likely to be sentenced to longer prison sentences as well as longer terms of probation and parole.
Our law in Georgia was encoded in our state constitution in 1868, the same year that Congress resolved to give the vote to black men. This is just one law that is a remnant of Jim Crow law.
That's such a large number that if every one of those individuals could vote, there would be, you couldn't say that there wasn't power in that number. People who love the system the way that it is, they would be like, where'd these people come from? What do you mean? It's voter fraud. There's no way 200,000 people voted this morning.
Now, there have been attempts to reform them and to define moral turpitude.
We're going to define moral turpitude, make it even more discriminatory, and we're going to say certain people deserve the right to vote, but other people don't.
You know what I love about you, Paige? Your ability to be critical of the system in which you live in. So many people are unable to be critical of the system. It's like profiling black people, they right. Why did the police pull them over? They must have been doing something now.
But I am honored to be part of a group of formerly incarcerated people and directly impacted people in the state of Georgia that are fighting to end the discriminatory practice of taxation without representation. And until then, I vote in y'all's honor. Kareemah, Kim, Ashley, come back up here. Y'all, it's my choir sisters. Coming down inside, we were in prison and now we're out here working together.
Get off the page! I believe that our stories are important because our stories connect each other. So we are both women, and I think it's important to understand the struggles that women experience on a day-to-day basis. To have a woman who has also been directly impacted by the criminal justice system, doing organizing, an advocate, hands-on in the nonprofit world, as an individual who understands the way the system works, who understands that the system is doing exactly what it was created to do. She and I are able to see where our stories parallel, but also understand where the system does not give everyone the same equity, and to be critical of the worlds that we each live in separately and together. It's kind of like the example with the elephant and the stake. You have a baby elephant and you tie it to that stake, it's not stronger than that stake. But the circus master continues to use that same stake and that same chain for the duration of that elephant's life. And it's not that that elephant can't break loose from that stake. It's been conditioned to believe that it cannot break loose. And that is what the system does. It conditions people to believe that there is no hope. And I'm not just talking about out here. The system has conditioned those that are incarcerated to believe that all hope is lost. That we should behave like animals because they treat us like animals. We shouldn't vote because they're going to put the votes in the trash. Right? So it's that social conditioning that needs to be reversed. So did it seem like the water police were out there as far as like this 202 bill? Did it seem like people were like waiting to arrest people because they were maybe sharing water or food or?
No, though I didn't see any cops, but I didn't see any water either.
Okay. I was really curious about that. Like I actually thought about today, like going to a poll site just to like be observant to see like what the energy was, or was the people acting real weird, or was it any tension or?
No, but the poll workers were all just like very nice and very appreciative. Like they all thanked me for coming out and I thanked them for being there. I think everybody, there's just an air of like gratitude, like we're all there for the right reasons and we're all supporting each other and being there, you know?
Yeah.
But I definitely had you and Lucy and all of our friends who couldn't be there in my mind.
I was thinking about yesterday how everybody just showed up and came out and was so supportive from like all these different cities and all these different organizations, and it gave me the energy to go to the beach and like go out to dinner and like spend another day and like enjoy my freedom and just be appreciative for having people like you in my life who like ride with me no matter what, who literally went across the water in my stead, right? Like went to a whole nother country because I could not, and I really, really appreciate that, and I am forever grateful.
Oh, Kareemah, you're gonna make me cry. I appreciate that you shared that opportunity with me, that you trusted me to go and carry the message, and I definitely carried you with me. And I always do, and I appreciate your support too. And it is my honor to vote in your honor.
Thank you so much. Can I have a hug?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Paige, for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, enough mushy stuff. Give me.
Oh my God.
Look, give me your elbow. Okay, we good now.
People can help us restore voting rights by having conversations with their lawmakers, by telling them that this is important to you and it should be important to them, that they have to represent all of our interests. Sign the petition, No Taxation Without Representation. Help us end this discriminatory practice and repeal these racist laws. And vote. Vote in honor of people who can't. If you feel like your vote doesn't matter, it definitely matters when you lose it.